definitely keen to support gay people and transgender people especially. I don't have the credentials, I'm not qualified, but I've got experience, like Georgina was talking about the experience that she had when she spoke to me as a 15-year-old. I've got experience, I've gone through many things to get to where I am today, so if I can help a young gay person or a transgender person, I'd love to do that kind of thing, definitely.
If there's one thing, I mean, it's too late for me now. I'm there, so I'm happy to be a mentor as well as I can be for other people, because those of us who succeed in our chosen endeavours in life and things like that should never close the door behind us. We must always be there to pull the next generation through. And so that's my responsibility now as an older person of this, of the transgender community, to be available whenever they feel they want my advice, on things. So it is that thing, you do not shut the door behind you. I've done all right, so, okay, everyone else, they can find their own way. It is for people like me, and it's a responsibility actually to help our younger generation through. Not many of them these days have come to ask me for that kind of advice. So how do you get into politics? How do you deal with all of that, because they want to make a contribution too? I might have been the first in the world to do what I have done in politics, but there have been at least 2 others around the world since, only 2, so 3 of us in the whole world. There was Vladimir Luxuria was elected into the Italian parliament, and she was the second transsexual in the world to have been done so. Unfortunately, it was in the Prodi government, which only lasted about 9 months in power, but she made it. And it was a communist party actually too that had gotten in. And there's a lady in Poland who I think is currently the only transsexual in the world to be a member of parliament, and currently, right now. So there's not very many of us that have made it in that arena yet. It's a lonely place to be sometimes, and suicide has been part and parcel of our lives. It's a terrible thing.
Have either of you considered?
Oh yes.
That's been linked to your...
I've tried 3 times in my early life, as in my late teens, early 20s. It was a horrible time. An unsafe time. And what really triggered the one that nearly killed me, suicide attempt, was a pack rape that I endured in 1979 in Sydney, and I was done over by 4 men. And when they had seduced me or picked me up from the girls' nightclub and offered me a joint, and I went rushing out to go and have it with them. And 2 of these people were Kiwis and 2 were Australian. And when they abducted me and took me, away, I didn't know if they knew, because I was young and what I call unspring. You couldn't really tell if I was or wasn't a guy or a girl. I was young and beautiful and all of that sort of thing. I was terrified because I thought, oh God, as I was going through the ordeal, when they get down below and discover and all of that, are they going to kill me? And I was beaten to within an inch of my life, and no, they didn't kill me. It was terrifying and horrible. And you know what? I couldn't go to any authority and say, help me, save me, and all of that sort of thing, because I was just a Maori drag queen from New Zealand, a prostitute, What do you mean you got raped? No one would believe me. And so I didn't complain about it and recovered in that. But afterwards, and when I was sort of all right, it just got me down. I'm nothing more than scum of the earth. And fortunately, my fear and terror turned into anger because I didn't think anyone should have to endure anything like that, man, woman, or otherwise, and that it's wrong and people need to be brought to account for it. And luckily, I turned it into a positive force to fight against all of that stuff. That even people like us deserve to live with dignity and integrity. And it became my life's work after that to make sure that if I could set an example of being able to overcome that and win people over and be part of society and be positive contributors, then that's what I was going to do. And so I didn't want to kill myself at the end of the day, and glad I didn't. I could have, but it all turned out okay, didn't it?
You did it your way.
Yes. Sorry.